Hello strangers and friends, my name is Grace, my pronouns are she and her, and welcome to vlog 3 of Sometimes I Make Things, a podcast primarily about knitting, but making things of all sorts. Hi. So today, this is the first vlog that I am making in the year 2022. Exciting, Happy New Year. Hope it's going well for you so far. And I figured it would be a good opportunity to talk about the things that I made in the year 2021 and just review all of the things that I worked on. In 2021, I made a variety of objects. I think it was my most productive making year in quite a while. And I think part of that had to do with my life slowed down more than it had in previous years, thanks in part to the pandemic and other life stuff going on. So I have a fair amount to share. I made a list of all the items that I made, like by category, and I'm going to read that off now just for context. I made 27 different fiber art things in the year 2021, which I didn't realize just how many I'd made, but proud of that. I made 3 sweaters, 2 of those were adult, 1 was baby. I made 4 shirts, all of which were adult. 3 cowls, 5 pairs of socks, only 1 of which was a baby sock and 1 was a shorty sock. 2 stockings, which I showed previously. 3 hats, 1 was a baby hat. 2 cup cozies, 2 amigurumi crochet projects, and 3 needle felts. 2 of which I have to show, 1 of them I gave away to a friend. So I feel I got some pretty good range that I got there. Quite a few of those things were gifts. So what I'm going to be sharing today is right here and right here. And these are the things that I kept for myself. So I'm going to talk about my selfish knits of 2021. All of my other finished objects are available to see on my Instagram page, Zumacrafty, as well as my Ravelry page, gracetheresa. So I have a highlight on Ravelry, and then it's just check out my project section on Ravelry if you do that. My plan for this vlog is to go through all of the knits that I made in chronological order. I will say the name of the pattern, and I'll probably put the pattern name and designer just written at the bottom as well as in the description box, just because, you know, I don't want the filming to go on too long, and I think ultimately it's more useful to have them written down and available in the description than just said out loud by me if you yourself want to reference them. And all the information, again, for all of these projects is on my Instagram and on my Ravelry page, so I'll have links to everything. Don't you fret, it's there. My first FO of 2021 was something I started in 2020, and it is this ripple bralette, patterned by Jessie May. I did it in a 2X, and I used Fleece Artist, which is a Canadian indie yarn dyer, and Cascade Yarns. The Fleece Artist color is called Snow Crocus, so I just love how springy, summery this is. It's an all-wool project, which is a bit of a bold choice for a tank top, but it's very comfortable. I like this one quite a lot. I haven't worn it very frequently just because it is quite a high crop on me, but it is really nice to wear like underneath a sweater just when you want that little extra cozy layer of warmth. But second ripple bralette that I made, enjoyed it. That's number 1. Second project that I made in 2021, I am currently wearing. This is the Strange Brew worsted weight version by Tin Can Knits. With Strange Brew, they give you a sweater recipe, and then you basically fill in the blanks and make whatever designs on it you want. So these designs are a mixture of the snowflake. I just found a basic snowflake Nordic style on Pinterest and copied that. And then the rest I think I pretty much made up myself. We just got some spokes here, got some diamonds here, and then at the bottom I just wanted to extend the length of the sweater a little bit because I was running out of yarn. So I added just a alternating dots pattern at the end, and then I did that as well on the wrist section. I love this sweater. I made it in Topsy wool worsted. Topsy is a hippie, earthy style farm that's on Amherst Island in Ontario, Canada. And they do all sorts of products there. They're very land-based and environmentalism oriented. So I feel really good about using this yarn. It's definitely a really rustic, sheepy yarn, but I think having knit with it on this project, it acclimated me to the feel of the yarn. So I'm much more comfortable with this kind of fabric now, though I don't think it would be for everyone. I am wearing a shirt underneath it, just so that it's not a sensory overload to wear it, but I have worn it before with just a short sleeve shirt underneath, and it's fine. I can live with rustic wool, and I just think the quality of the fabric it makes is so nice. It just feels warm, and it feels It just feels right wearing a big rustic sweater. So I think I'll be doing more in the future. And honorary mention to my bee pin, which I am wearing. I think knits are just perfect for pins because you're not going to leave a hole in the knit when you put a pin on it. Next up, I made these socks. These are knit helical style, so they're nice and stripy. This was leftovers from a hat that I made. It's Ancient Arts yarn. I think the colorway is called Aurora Borealis. And these socks don't fit the best. I think they're a little bit long in the foot. But overall, I just think these are beautiful. I made them up as I went along. I did these as knitting one full-length tube like this. And then I did an afterthought cuff short row heel. I do not remember what kind of heel this was. And then just a basic toe as well. So as far as just socks that I fudged, I think they came out really great. But they're more so socks I wear around the house because they can kind of bunch up inside of shoes. But you live and you learn. Next up is the Sunburst Lichen Cowl. This cowl is meant to be made in 4 repeats, but I only had enough yarn to do 1 repeat, and I just wanted to try out the lace, and she's cute. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't wear this very often either, but I think that's just because I don't really wear a lot of cowls, generally, but I think she's cute. She's simple, she's small. I don't know how to style cowls, like, anyway. Definitely good practice. I really like the idea of using this pattern as the end section of a sweater sleeve at some point. Like, wouldn't that be fabulous? Doing a big bell sleeve like that and then having this at the end? So I consider this almost like a sampler or a swatch of what will be a very funky sweater in the future. Next up was another pair of socks. These were based on the Socks on a Plane pattern. Pretty much I just used the cable from that, but then I made up the rest of the sock. It's a basic 72 stitch top down design. We got our heel flap. I love these socks, they fit amazing. The funny story with these socks is that they were actually meant to be a gift for my friend Ian, so that's why I made them 72 stitch rather than my usual 64 for myself. But then I realized they would not fit him, as I had already committed to knitting too far. I was not going to rip them out and redo it, so I ended up finishing them just for myself. And I'm not mad about it. I love these socks. He chose out the color. These were genuinely supposed to be like a birthday gift, but they ended up being for me. That's fine. I think gifting socks is easier said than done because there's just so many angles and shapes and sizes to people's feet. And it's much easier when you have them right in front of you. I know that there's a pattern on Ravelry called Fish Lips Kiss Heel, and I think it has information on how to fit to another person's foot size. So I am considering buying that pattern at some point because I think it'd be really nice to be able to knit socks for other people. But I'm very pro selfish knitting. Like, if I'm putting a lot of work into something, I'm very okay with it being for me and for no one else. But, you know, it's a good thing to learn how to make things for other people. It's a nice thing to do, I guess. Next up is another Jessie May pattern. This is the Outline Tank. I made it in Trailhead Yarns, which is a vegan yarn company that's based out of Canada. So it's indie dyed, but all vegan yarn, which is pretty neat. I really like this yarn. I would definitely use it again. I had 2 of their yarns held together. I believe it was Appalachian Trail and Cabot Trail are the ones that I held together. And it's so light, it's buttery soft, it's really pleasant for the summer. I did have to significantly cut down the length of the sleeves. I think I had to take 3 inches off the length of the sleeves because they just, over time, it stretches and relaxes. And I think even still the armpit is relatively deep on this, so if I made this one again, which I am hoping to actually make this pattern again in 2022, I'm definitely going to significantly size down, but this is just a really nice loose flowy top. Next up, another pair of socks. These are the shorty heel tab sock pattern here for this section of the cuff. And then the rest, again, just fudged it, made it up. This was the first time that I did a slip stitch heel flap, and I really like it more than the Eye of Partridge. It was more fun to do, and I really like the effect, and I think going forward, slip stitch heel is the one that I'm gonna do. I super happy with these as well. They fit great, they're really cute. This yarn was gifted to me by Mega, Skeins of Dreams, who I feel like I'm legally obligated to mention in every episode. She sent it to me with a bunch of yarn at the beginning of 2021, and it's really nice for socks. I really enjoyed knitting with it. I believe it was Stroll, and then the colorway is Frolic. But these are one of my favorite pairs of socks because they're adorable and they're comfy, and that's what you're looking for in hand knit socks. I definitely will be making more shorties in 2022 because they're just so easy to put on, and I love this tab pattern so much. It's so comfortable, it's quick, and it's complicated enough that it's really engaging to do, but the finished project is very minimalist and just very functional. The next one up on my list is my Halloween Strange Brew. Da, 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 da. Ah, I love this sweater so much. Like, look at it. I find it so hypnotic. So this sweater pattern, I'm like distracted looking at it in the mirror. I love it so much. This is the same pattern as the sweater that I'm wearing right now. This is the fingering weight version. This is the worsted weight version that I have on. So the fit I knew was going to be good because I was really happy with the fit of this sweater. I believe this sweater was a 2X size that I made, and then this one was just XL. This is a super smorgasbord of different free patterns that I found online. I'm so proud of this sweater. Like this is the knit of 2021. This is the one that I'm most proud of. Starting at the top, we got these lovely moons. This was from the Molder cowl pattern on Ravelry. Then we got some leaves. This was from a mushroom sock pattern, which I am planning on using more of that mushroom sock pattern, I think, to make a sweater. We will see. We got webs. This is from the Superstitious pattern. We got our spooky pumpkin mitts pattern that I just repeated over and over again. And of course, just some, I like spokes or rays in designs. And then some skulls, which I believe this was from Deathflake, the mitten pattern, and then corrugated ribbing on all the edging just to tie in all the colors together. Never forget, stand forever. I'm wearing this every Halloween for the rest of my life until something happens to it or me. Yeah, I just, I'm a child. Alright, we're gonna move on. Never going to move on emotionally, but we're going to move on in the video. The next FO that I have after the Halloween sweater are these matching ribbed gradient socks. These were very popular on my Instagram page when I posted them. I'm very proud of how well I got the colors to match up. I'm not as happy with the fit. Funnily enough, I feel like the first pair of socks I ever made are the socks that have the best fit. But they are pretty comfortable. Again, I feel like these are kind of at-home socks, just because this area here was a little bit, this area here can bunch up and it gets a little bit too loose at times, but you live and you learn. I'm pretty proud of myself for making myself knit entirely 2x2 socks. I don't like knitting ribbing, and this was a lot of ribbing, and by the time I finished both of these socks, I feel like I learned to like ribbing. We just got used to knitting it more so it wasn't as annoying to do the switching back and forth between knitting and purling. So while it's still not my favorite thing to do, I can tolerate it better. I like acclimated myself using these socks, which was part of the goal of making them, and mission successful. Oh no, we had someone fall out of the order. We have the Free for All cowl. I made 2 of these in 2021 because I loved the pattern so much. It is a free pattern available online, and the first one I made was all rainbow, and I mailed it to my friend Ben. And then this one is a nice rich green yarn that I got in Allura when I had a placement there in 2019, and I wanted something really special made with it, and I love this cowl for it. It's so soft, it's so comfortable. I loved knitting it, and you can really just appreciate how many different colors are in this yarn. This yarn was from a dyer called the Knitting Wolf, who is local to the Allura area, and the colorway is called Allura Gorgeous. So I had a really good experience while I was in Allura, living there for 3 weeks and having a placement at a hospital there, and I just really wanted to remember it. And every time I have this cowl on, I have fond memories of that time in my life. It's the final FO. This is diaphanous raglan. We talked about it in the last episode of Sometimes I Make Things. Since then, I've worn it a few times. Very happy with it. It's beautiful. I got some nice compliments on it. Overall, 10 out of 10. We have discussed her previously. We will discuss her probably many more times in the future. But diaphanous raglan, definitely recommend. Super proud of this gal. Those were all my knitted FOs. My crochet FOs both got gifted. So can't show you them here. But I do want to have honorable mention to the items that I felted. I did give one of those away as a gift, but I have kept for myself. This was the first one that I made of 2021, and it's a little model of my cat Milo. It's Milo in real life. And I got this as a kit from Michael's. It was a gift from one of my parents. I supplemented it with my own colors of yarn and boosted up the thickness, but I love him. He's adorable. He sits on my shelf. I hopefully will make a trill in the future, but trill will be harder to make because he's fluffy. And after I made the little mini Milo, I made this little penguin friend, which was also a lot of fun. And they're just, needle felted stuff is adorable, and it's very satisfying to make, especially if you're in a bad mood. You just stab, 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 stab. You can just feel the stress leaving you as you create these adorable little creatures. And that is every FO that I made for myself and kept for myself in 2021. There were more, as I mentioned in the beginning, but those all ended up being gifts. So I feel pretty great about how much I made for myself, as well as the gift giving that I did for friends and family. All the things that I made, I feel are really greatly appreciated. And I'm really proud of having made things myself this year and being able to look back on it and see it all at the end of the year. It just makes me feel really inspired and fires me up to knit more and make more in 2022. While we're still talking about 2021, real quick, I just want to show something that I know the viewers of this will appreciate. My mom got me a yarn bowl for Christmas. This is made by a potter local to our area near where she works, and she also got me a yarn advent calendar from a local yarn store, which I have placed inside the bowl, but it's so pretty. I love it so much, to the point that I'm afraid to use it for actual yarning because I don't want anything to happen to it. So it's kind of one of those things that gets placed very delicately on the floor if it's ever going to be in use. But for now I have it placed on my yarn shelf and it's holding my goodies. And I think when I rearrange my yarn shelf next, I'm definitely going to use this for more display purposes because I just look at it and it's so lovely. It's such a perfect gift for me because it just encapsulates so many things that I love. I love pottery so much. The colors are beautiful and it's a yarn bowl. So I just really wanted to share that there and say thank you, Mom, for getting me this beautiful, beautiful thing that I shall cling to and love my entire life. Now that we've talked about 2021, I guess we gotta talk about 2022. I am entering 2022 with 2 whips from 2021. We have update on my Pearl Soho ribbed hat that I'm knitting for my sister. I think she's coming along super great, but I am gonna rip it back. I have this much yarn that's left over, and I ideally do want to use all the yarn in the hat, as well as I feel like with the folded brim right now, it's just a little bit too shallow potentially, and I want my sister to be able to pull it down as far as she would like while still maintaining a nice brim. So I am planning on ripping back to where I started doing decreases, knit approximately 10 more grams worth, and then start doing the decreases again, just because might as well use it all. So this one is currently briefly hibernating, just because the idea of ripping out all that ribbing, as well as picking up all the ribbing stitches, hurts my soul a little bit. But I am planning on having this done before the end of January. My sister's birthday is in February, and the winter is ending eventually, so I'd like to get this to her to be able to use it within this winter season, and ideally before her birthday. And my Christmas cast on has made some good progress. I almost didn't do it. I think I started this at like 8 p.m. on Christmas Day, But this is my progress on Dreyu by Fibertail. So I have my twist established. I think I'm gonna have to sew it in a little bit just to keep them together. And I am working on the other side of it right here. So, boom, we making progress. Hoping to get this one done as soon as possible, but overall, first brioche project, really happy with it. It's really fun. I'm delighted by how stretchy it is, and it's very easy to keep knitting brioche just because each row goes by so quickly, and it's a pretty fun and easy stitch pattern to do. So I'm really glad that before 2021 ended, I learned how to do at least brioche basically in the flat, and I hope to do more in the future. And as I mentioned in my last episode, this is lichen and lace colorway lichen, as well as a mystery dark green mohair that I'm using. And doesn't she just glow? Isn't she lovely? Oh, hello, Milo. He's joined us. Oh, baby! He can do whatever he wants. We'll deal with the cat hair later. I finally made my swatch for an Ishturk. It is a double seed stitch swatch that I did on 5mm needles, and I just about made gauge. I think my row gauge is like off by 1 row. I don't care enough. We're going with the 5mm needles. I already have plenty of 5mm needles, so I have plenty of options for knitting on it. And I will be starting this relatively soon, but I'm pretty chuffed about how my swatch looks there. I think it's going to be a fantastic sweater, and the swatch knit up surprisingly quickly. Surprising to me because I'm used to knitting on fingering weight, not worsted weight on a 5mm needle. And I am feeling a renewed sense of hope about my ability to finish a full, large, oversized, plus size cable knit sweater before the end of 2022. I'm a little afraid that it's going to take me 5 years to knit this sweater, but I'm holding out hope. A big goal is to finish it by the end of 2022. Prior to getting to knitting an Ishturk beyond our swatch, I do have a new project planned. So I look behind me because Milo knocked them around. I got a new sweater quantity from the Knitting Loft in Toronto. This is Rust by Knitting for Olive, and this is Burnt Orange by Midnight Soul. And I am going to hold them double to make the gingerbread sweater by Espace Tricot. Free pattern online on Ravelry or the Espace Tricot website. I was originally planning on having this be my Christmas 2022 sweater, but then something happened in my province. As I'm sure many people have experienced around the world around this time, our COVID case numbers are climbing greatly, and pretty much every day for the last 2 weeks or so, each day has been a new record most COVID cases ever in Ontario. The highest day of 2021 previously had been about 4,500 cases on April 16th, which was my birthday. It was a glum day. But towards the end of December, we started hitting 5,000, then we hit 9,000, then we were at 14,000, and I think 18,900 might be the new record number that just came out earlier this week. So obviously those are pretty alarming changes to happen so fast. So our province announced this Monday, which was January 3rd, that we are going to be doing a lockdown starting January 5th for 3 weeks. They are not using the word lockdown for political reasons, but it's effectively a lockdown. So restaurants and gyms and theaters, pretty much all non-essential businesses are going to be closed down, unfortunately, and capacity limits are going to be put in place as well, which, you know, the numbers are doing what the numbers are doing, and I think precautions need to be taken, but that's pretty hard for a lot of people, obviously. It's a difficult time. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to make the most of the fact that there's going to be a lockdown happening, and I'm going to do a personal challenge for myself. Now, of course, when a lockdown happens, you do not need to be productive. You just need to live your life and stay alive, and take care of yourself. But I thought setting a goal for within that 3-week period might help cheer me up a little bit about the state of how things are going. So I'm going to try to knit a sweater in 3 weeks. So the gingerbread sweater, it's going to be knit on 3.75 millimeters. I'm probably going to be making the 2X size, and it's basically a fingering weight yarn. So It's not the easiest thing. My diaphanous raglan, I think, took me 50 hours or 45 hours all told to make. So I'm anticipating it'll probably take the same amount of time to make gingerbread. But we're gonna go for it anyway. We're gonna set our goals high. So I'm hoping in the next update, either it'll be end of lockdown update or mid-lockdown update, we'll find out. But this is what you guys had to look forward to. Can Grace knit a sweater in 3 weeks while stuck at home? What else will I be doing, right? Oh, child. Oh, sweet boy. It's a lot easier to talk about COVID and lockdowns when you're snuggling a cat. Maybe I should tell you guys. So, this is Milo. He is gonna be 12 in April. We found him in our backyard as a kitten with his brother and one of his siblings. They were born feral, and we took them in and have taken care of them ever since. And they are the happiest, friendliest, like most snuggly cats I've ever met. You can do anything to them. You can hold them any which way. They will never complain. They never bite in anger. They might nip playfully, but him and Trill are lovely. Such a sweet boy, huh? Let me know if you want more Milo content. Well, I think that's all I really wanted to cover in this episode. Talked about the personal knits that I made in 2021, as well as the whips I have right now and what I'm planning on casting on next. There's like cat hair flying in the air everywhere around me. If you have anything that you are going to be casting on anytime soon, please let me know. I love to see what kind of patterns other folks are interested in making. And if you have any general plans for 2022, please let me know. I love to read them. Wishing you all the best in 2022. Bye, friends! Moment of silence for all the pants owned by cat owners. Next up, I gotta look at what this one's called. I hope this is all going at a decent pace. Like, I want to go through it quickly because I just want to show the things off, but I don't want to be too quick. I don't know. Feel free to give me that feedback. But anyway, I'm not as happy with the fit. Funnily enough, I feel like the first pair of socks I ever made are the socks that have the best fit. Which I'm actually wearing right now. Haha. These socks I don't remember what order this one was before or after. It's fine, but we have, what's it called again? We have the Free for All cowl. It's Milo in real life. And Milo in wool life. I love you so much.